Time no longer, chapter 20a. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. Revelation 9:15. We've been given a prophecy after prophecy all through the book of Revelation. This book encompasses many different types of prophecies, including the four major prophecies and a number of timed prophecies. These prophecies cover period after period of world history. As we near the climax of world history, John gives us one more time prophecy. Revelation 9:15 states that a certain time period will begin with the loosing of the four angels. In addition, the period commences with the period in which 1/3 of all men are slain, where we had reference to this period before. Revelation 6 delineates the prophecy of the seven seals. This prophecy of the seals, or prophecy 2 of Revelation, gives account of the political history of our world through the centuries. It begins with Babylon in 625 BC and continues through the four horsemen, or powers, described in several places in Scripture. It continues on through the Dark and Middle Ages, describing the power, glory, and infamy of all governments that exercise world control in world history. John sees the four horsemen riding the four-colored horses across the skies of history. White, red, black, and pale horses gallop through history. They represent the kingdoms of Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome. Seal 5 represents the political body from AD 476, the official fall of the Roman Empire, until the time of the end commences in 1798 AD. It depicts the Middle Ages, which was dominated politically by the Roman Catholic Church hierarchy. This domination continued for 1260 years until Napoleon inflicted the deadly wound by taking the Pope captive in 1798. AD 1798 is the beginning of the time of the end prophecy. The sixth seal is marked by the following heavenly event. And when I beheld the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell into the earth. Revelation 6:12 and 13. These events are pinpointed by the following dates. The Great Lisbon earthquake occurred in 1755. The sun and moon became dark in 1780, and the great star shower was seen in 1833. This may also indicate the shift of world power at this time to the west. This power transfer occurred as the time of the end began, moving from east to west. The reasons for this are myriad, but the most obvious is the seemingly unending resources of the new land. The epicenter of the great quake was in Lisbon, Portugal, but the celestial signs sent from the heavens were primarily seen in North America. These three dates surrounded the beginning of the time of the end prophecy. This prophecy is one of the most frequently referred to prophecies by John in Revelation. The date 1798 closes out the 1260-year prophecy of the Middle Ages. The 1260-year period is also frequently cited by John. As discussed earlier, it gives a description of the church as both a religious and political body on its sojourn through that Middle Ages. Religious freedom finally comes of age by 1798. The political cloud of the Catholic hierarchy has been severely limited, and the New World opens to humanity new religions of every kind. After the sixth seal is opened in Revelation 7:1-3, we read, "And after these things I saw the four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth, neither the sea nor the tree, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads." If the angels were announced as being seen by John standing at the ready after the sixth seal is opened, it would place that at the time of the beginning of the time of the end, or 1798. All through our Revelation journey, we have studied the time of the end and locked it in beginning as AD 1798. Thus, the four angels being depicted as standing on the earth's four corners herald the time of the end and occur in 1798. In Revelation 7:3, the angels are told not to hurt the earth till we have sealed the servants of our God. The seventh seal, or perfect sealing of God's saints, occurs in the space of about 1/2 hour at the beginning of the time of the end. Revelation 8:1. This half hour is another time prophecy. Again, using the prophecy key, a day equaling a year, we are able to interpret this short prophecy. This key is found several places in the Bible. Ezekiel 4:6 states, I have appointed thee each day for a year. This ratio holds up time and time again. Any student of prophecy and history soon realizes this fact and cannot challenge the validity of this equation. Utilizing this key, the sealing of the saints can be accurately timed. The sealing of the 144 million Jews and the millions of non-Jews takes place in the space of about 1/2 hour. Plugging this half hour into our equation, 1 hour equals 1/24 of a year, or 1/2 month, or 2 weeks. Therefore, 1/2 hour would equal 1 week of literal time. So this sealing took only 1 week to complete. Meanwhile, the four great angels remained, holding the four winds of strife. Chapter 7 of Revelation describes the sealing of the saints and is a prelude to the seven trumpets prophecy, prophecy 3. The seven trumpets now sound. Each trumpet heralds a prophecy occurring during the time of the end. Trumpets 1 through 4 describe the atrocities of war for the 150-year period, 1798 to 1948. This is the 5-month prophecy discussed first in Revelation 9:5. This is the time period when men shall be hurt for 5 months. Sandwiched in here as one of the trumpets is the wormwood prophecy heralded by the third trumpet. This prophecy is found in Revelation 8:1. And the name of the star is called wormwood, and the third part of the waters become wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. The etiology of cancer may be found in water, and it possibly may be a result of the contamination of water by the products of war. Certainly, atomic weaponry has been implicated as an etiology of malignancy. We need only examine the results caused by the cargo drop from the Enola Gay in 1945 on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Further confirmation is forthcoming from nuclear testing in this country during the aftermath of World War II and nuclear disasters such as Chernobyl. Trumpets 5, 6, and 7 depict the three terrible woes such as the world has never seen. Woe number 1 speaks of the 150-year period of war, more terrible than the world has ever witnessed. Initiated by Napoleon Bonaparte and punctuated by Adolf Hitler, the 150-year period of war was more terrible than the world has ever conceived. The atrocities were unimaginable. These 5 months elevated war, or shall I say lowered war, to a new level. The second woe closes the 150-year prophecy in the evil form of World War II. It would seem that there can be no more terrible event than that great war. But John points out the error in that theory. Remember, John in Revelation 7:1 describes the picture of the four angels holding back the winds of strife. But where is the answer to the question of how long these four powerful angels will hold back the four winds? This answer will also give us the date of the time of the end prophecy, and this same answer will also tell us when the worst of the three woes will occur. That third woe will be the Third World War, the most dreadful conflict in the history of mankind. That is, the Battle of Armageddon. In the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of God should be finished, as he hath declared to his servants the prophets. Revelation 10:7. Revelation 15:1 states, And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues. Revelation 16:16 pinpoints the last woe, the Battle of Armageddon, as the 6th plague. And he gathered them together in a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Revelation 10:3 interjects the seven thunders prophecy, that is, the seven last plagues, as the seventh angel sounds, and cried with a loud voice, as when a lion roareth, and when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. The mystery of God is now finished, as the time of the end comes to a close, in other words, when time is over. God's mystery is over. As the seventh angel sounds his trumpet, the 7 thunders begin to rumble. It is at this time that there should be time no longer. Revelation 10:6. If there is no more time, by definition, the time of the end is over. Emerging as the key text in the entire book of Revelation is the following passage. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men. Revelation 9:15. 4 angels holding the 4 winds of strife herald the beginning of the time of the end, and they also bring it to a climax by releasing these 4 winds of strife. The time of the end is over. Time is no longer. These 4 angels were prepared for a specified time period to hold the 4 winds, and they were also given the signal at the time period to slay 1/3 of all men. That is, 1/3 of the world's population that ever lived, possibly 10 billion or more people. These are the followers of Satan and the sinful life. God says 1/3 of all men will die during the 7 last plagues. This figure includes those in the Battle of Armageddon. God's prophecies are totally accurate. Never has one of his prophecies ever been the least bit in error. History bears this out repeatedly. Therefore, how can we doubt this one? 1/3 of all angels chose to follow Satan, denounced God, and were cast from heaven. The obvious deduction is that 1/3 of all mankind will perish in the eternal fire. This tragedy is beyond human comprehension, but it is most certainly plausible. Revelation 9:15 reveals to us the length of the time of the end, and therefore it is the key that will unlock the remainder of Earth's history. To reiterate, and the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men. Utilizing our day for a year equation, we arrive at 4 segments of time. 1 hour equals 1/24th of a real day. Therefore, 1/24th of a year equals 2 weeks. Similarly, by 1 day equals a year, 1 month equals 30 years, and 1 year equals 360 years. The grand total is 391 years and 2 weeks. Revelation 9:15 prophesies that the time of the end will last 391 years plus 2 weeks. Then there will be time no longer. Revelation 10:6. The end of all time can be calculated by adding 391 years to 1,798 years. There will end in the year. Time will end in the year 2189 AD.